Welcome to Yogaxpress, your virtual stretch clinic that helps you move the body to still the mind. My name is Banu Suresh. I'm your host for this program. We have with us here Radan Sturm. Radan is a personal trainer. Radan, you know what? When I put your credits up, I forgot to give the rest of your title. Tell me your full title again.
Well, I have many titles, but Director of Personal Training and Development.
Director of Personal Training and Development. And you actually teach and direct the programs, the fitness programs at a local school?
Well, I do, yeah.
Are you allowed to tell us the name?
Complete Body and Spa.
Complete Body and Spa.
So it's 3-4 locations. And
right.
I basically train our trainers to be more efficient, be better.
Right, right. Now, I know you've also run your own studio. It's been a while since you've been on our program, so I'd like you to refresh us. You run your own gym in Australia?
Yeah, for 6 years, which I just finished up earlier this year.
Now you write programs for this studio, this health club?
I do, yeah. So my experience is kind of creating a gym from scratch. So I started the business.
Right.
And to start a business takes a very special skill set.
I can imagine, yeah.
And then once you've done it once, you can replicate it. And so that's where my skill is being able to just kind of replicate what I did for this new business.
And you've already had the experience of working with other people before in the other studio.
Yeah.
So now you can bring those programs adapted to your clients in New York.
And yoga is a big part of that as well.
Right.
Yeah, because yoga is hugely popular.
I'm sure it is. Very chic to be practicing yoga.
We are cool. We are super cool right now.
Those of you out there who don't realize that yoga is for everyone, not just for girls. In the United States and North America, I think we sometimes assume that it's, mostly for girls, but just so you know, some of the best teachers and masters were men. I can just reel off all the names. I can rattle them off. You've got B.K. Iyengar, Patabi Joyce, TTK, Krishnamacharya, Desikacharya. So they all...
Why is it men? Why is it the men?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because primarily what happens is women would do their physical discipline, would practice their physical discipline along with their household chores. Women tend to be what you call field sensitive. We can do 3 or 4 things at the same time, it is the truth. But also that's one of the reasons why men are better at meditation. Because you're very linear. Guys seem to be very linear, and they're able to lasso in all their thoughts, zone it down to one thought, and from there they can just stay right there. Women find it a little harder to do that, but nowadays women are encroaching on men's territory everywhere, so we're also trying to learn how to meditate, which is really a good reason for us to assume that men should also then encroach on the physical aspect. So I think guys in North America should start practicing, because it can be a very physical practice.
Yeah,
as a personal trainer.
It's extremely physical.
It is very physical. Now, in fact, our tagline, Radan, is moving the body to still the mind. So we talk about working the body, keeping the body in good shape so that your mind can be at rest.
Yeah.
So, if we can move, we can stretch. And that's what it's all about. It's just making the most of what we have, just stretching a little.
And I think people don't realize it, but they are actually stilling the mind through exercise all the time.
Yes.
So whether they're running, whether they're doing an aerobics class, or whether they're doing yoga, when you're in that zone and you're just thinking about exercise, that's stilling the mind.
Right.
So people get it in different ways.
As director of training, I think you've got that really right, because you take care of trainers in different areas, so it's not just not just the machines.
It's weights, it's yoga, it's Pilates.
Right.
There's all these kind of crossbreed classes like yoga lattes, yoga chisel.
What is yoga latte?
Power This one I heard was power Ashtanga.
Power Ashtanga.
As if Ashtanga wasn't difficult enough.
Right.
Now it's
right.
power Ashtanga.
Well, actually, that's another thing. Ashtanga yoga in North America is usually referred to, now that people are starting to see the correct meaning, but earlier on, even 10 years ago, anything that was very, very physical was referred to as Ashtanga because it's very intense, physically intense.
Yeah.
Actually, Hatha yoga is the one that's more intense.
Really?
Traditionally. Ashtanga means Ashtanga is 8 limbs. Ashta is 8, Anga is limbs. It's just the eightfold path of living. And the only one part of those, only one limb, the fourth limb, is posture practice. Ashtanga is social discipline, personal discipline, breathing, which is more important, comes step 3, and fourth is asana, and then you have pratyahara. Pratyahara means withdrawal of senses. So basically, if someone says something that normally would have bothered you, with a lot of yoga practice, you can just, it's like water.
You
off
need
the
that in
duck's
New
back.
York City.
You need that.
You need that in New York City every
You
day.
need to zen people out. You need to zen
Yeah.
comments. People may say something that bothers you. They may do something that bothers you. That doesn't mean someone comes at you with a dagger that you're not going to protect yourself. It just means you won't let it bother you mentally.
Yeah.
So yeah, and they don't realize. So pratyahara is number 5, and then you have concentration, then you have meditation, and then sublimation. So these are the 8 steps, and I think I did cover all 8, but these are the 8 steps of Ashtanga yoga. Hatha yoga used to be the physical one, the one where people would do extreme physical penance to gain boons from the gods.
Wow.
But in North America, we got a little bit confused. Now we're getting back to the original one.
Wow.
So yeah, you're talking about power Ashtanga. You're right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Power
people think
Hatha, maybe.
Power
More
Hatha.
correct.
Well, that would be more correct today, but I don't think people would respond. You wouldn't get too many people
No, they'd be
coming
like,
in
"What?"
for the classes. Before we move on, Radan and I are going to take our viewers through the 48 simple stretches that we have on a postcard. The sequence is called 48 plus. It's just the common denominator postures that you would practice in any yoga studio. So if you stay with us and stretch with us, you can attend maybe your studio classes twice a week. So you go to Radan School Complete Body and Spa. Let's say you attend 2 classes a week. The rest of the days you can stay in touch with your stretches, in touch with your body by just stretching with us on air.
Yeah. All it takes is half an hour.
All it takes is half
All
an
it
hour.
takes is
Stay
half
with
an
that
hour.
thought because
Well,
I want you to
25
bring
minutes.
that. We talked about this
Well, how
just
much time do
before
we have
started.
left? 20 minutes.
We have 22 minutes. Before we move on, we'd like to thank our crew. We have a 1-person crew today manning the fort. Josiane Hurd, our director, thank you so much for hanging in there, Josiane. We'll try to be as gentle and least troublesome to you as possible. Hi, Kirtland. So, Radan, here's what we're going to do. We're going to stand up. Let's start the standing postures. As we go in and out of the postures, if you can help our viewers understand which muscle groups are being worked, that would be very helpful.
Sure.
And
I
very
brought my
simple
workout gear
English.
today as well.
You have your jeans on.
As long as we're not stretching
Are
too
these
much.
stretch jeans? There are jeans that stretch too, right? Not really.
I think the jeans will stretch before my body, but
Yeah,
that's
before your
okay.
So you're taller than I am, so we'll stagger ourselves. So I'll
Yeah.
come forward, heels together, toes apart, palms in front of your chest, elbows are raised. We also need to thank Richard Swanson for the studio lights and the setup, body music by Cesar de Para, opening track from Sapta Tandavam. Palms together, inhale. Are we working any part? We are working the wrist here, right, Radan?
Yeah, and you can be working your chest as well.
Opening
If
up
you-
the chest.
Yeah,
that's
you're
right.
opening up, and if you push your hands together quite tightly, you can feel the front of the chest muscle here working.
Strengthening right
yeah.
there, right?
So there you go, yoga strengthening as
And when
well
we
as stretching.
push our wrist, that's a good point. When you press your wrists together, also the lower abdominal muscles seem to go in.
Yeah.
It's like I'm trying to hold myself nice
Yeah.
and close.
Nice and tall.
Inhale, take your arms up. Now, wiggle your biceps behind your ears. I'm not going to call out the names. I think many of you are familiar with the names, and now it's about a physical workout. Radan, any muscles we're working the back of the body here?
Well, you're stretching out your abs,
Right,
which
okay.
we rarely think about stretching as a muscle group. We always
Right.
think about doing sit-ups, right? To
Right, talk
strengthen
about
them.
six-pack.
Yeah, so you got to stretch these muscles out as well.
That's right. Exhale, fold from the hip.
Oh, it's tight today.
And with jeans, that's not helping you, right? Now, I think the back of the body, in yoga we tend to stretch the back of the body quite a bit, Radan. So Do you feel your hamstrings in the back?
Yeah, I feel the hamstrings, I feel the lower back release.
Right.
So it is quite nice to stay here for a little while, just to let the weight of your upper body pull you down.
Not too long, we just have 20 minutes. Palms 6 to 8 inches in front of your feet. Take the left leg back and then the right. Exhale and dip your head between your biceps. I had actually not even planned on doing the sun salutation. I think instinctively we're going into that. Oh, it's all right.
It's such a good way to warm up, though, isn't it?
It's really good. It's a complete workout, Radan. Now, in this one, we get a beautiful stretch on the back of the legs. You also get the strengthening of the trapezius. Is a trapezius, I mean, is that the right muscle group behind the shoulders, Radan?
Yeah, there's 2 or 3 that work together, but trapezius definitely works. Your shoulders work quite a lot, and your triceps as well, which is the back of the arm.
Back of the upper arm,
So
right?
shoulders, triceps, trapezius, and then also your calves should be stretching if you're getting your heels onto the floor.
Yeah, I can feel
So if you're wearing high heels a lot like me, you really feel that stretch.
Inhale, bring the left foot between the hands. Place your right knee on the floor. Uncurl your toes in the right foot. Place both palms on the left knee. Now in this one, I only feel a stretch in the front of my upper right thigh.
Perfect.
Is that all that
This
we're
is
doing?
pretty much. This is a very localized stretch, so
Right.
you're going to feel it here. If you don't feel a stretch and you keep pushing,
Right.
you might start to feel it in the back, in which case you've probably gone too far.
And that's not safe?
No, not really. You really want to feel this at the front of the hip.
Right, okay, got it.
Yeah, so you're pushing
just
forward, front of the hip only.
You know, sometimes when I go, if I don't go back, but I just lean forward, I feel the stretch from the inside of my right hip.
Yeah.
Is there a muscle group over there that...
Yeah, well, your leg runs across that joint into your
Right,
torso,
right,
so
right,
it's
right.
your quadricep is a hip flexor.
Okay.
But there's also a deeper one which attaches to your lower back, called your psoas.
So, right, that's what I
Maybe you're feeling that, but if you put a twist into it, for example, you came across and you rotated,
Right.
then because it's attached to your spine, you might feel it a bit more.
So we're actually going to go, that's the next one.
Ah,
We're
see,
gonna
I
do the
knew that.
twist.
I knew that.
Inhale. Take the right
Intuition.
arm up, that's right. Exhale, hi Ali, dip your right elbow over the left knee. Yeah, you're right, I feel it now. Place the left palm on top of your right. I also feel a nice crunch of my obliques on the left side, a nice little twist, but I feel a stretch on the right side as well.
Yeah,
so.
it should still be stretching the right predominantly. I feel my left leg working also,
Right.
because
right.
it's pretty much holding up our weight now.
Yeah, right now it feels a bit of a balance. So when you say your left leg is working, how should I feel? What should I feel?
Well, it should maybe be burning a little bit because the muscle's working to hold your body weight up.
Right. Inhale. Let's come out of that.
Maybe I'm just weak today.
No. You got your jeans on too. Let's switch legs. Let's bring the left leg back, bring the right leg forward. We're combining both sides because sun salutation was not planned today. So I'm gonna take my left knee back, place both palms on the right knee, elbows are out, helps you stay in the moment. Exhale and dip.
That's it. I think most people will find one side tighter than the other.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty normal. There's not many people that are perfectly balanced.
It's
in
so
each
good to know
position.
we're all normal. It's good because
I
sometimes
feel this a lot more. You?
You feel more on this side? I do actually, you're right. Now that you mention it, I do. Inhale, right knee is up. Inhale, the left arm up. Exhale, dip the left elbow over the right knee. Place the right palm on top of the left. Turn to look at your right elbow. Radan, I've been meaning to ask you this. Every time in our yoga class and in our stretches, every time we want to do a twist, we always raise the arm and then bring it over. What am I doing? Am I stretching any particular muscle group, trying to gain extra length or something?
Well, I think probably lengthening the spine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're trying to lift up, straighten out the spine, and then go into the
So
rotation.
I'm trying to optimize my stretch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you're stretching into with a rounded spine, you probably won't get as far. So you're just increasing the stretch and the motion
Ah, okay.
by lengthening the spine and then going to the stretch.
Then going deep. Inhale, let's come out of that. Place both palms beside the right foot, curl your toes in the left. Raise your left knee, take the right to meet the left in plank position. I hate this posture.
Yeah,
And I'm
so
going
15
to-
minutes to go. Let's
oh,
hold.
shush. There's no way I'm going to hold this for 15. Knees. We are we supposed to be engaging our buttock muscles and low back in this one?
No, I think your abdominals.
Abdominals.
So you're meant to draw.
That's a trick. Oh.
If you draw your belly button in,
okay,
that kind of creates a little bit more
oh
stability.
my God, that helps. I can now hold it. Not 15 minutes, but I can still hold it a little longer.
You can always drop to the knees in this position, can't you?
Yeah, we're going to actually, that's the next one. Knees, chest and chin to the floor. Exhale and dip. Inhale, glide out into cobra. Press with your palms and then lift your chin and chest up. Now, to make sure that you're using your low back muscles, tighten your buttock muscles, gluteals, and then if Radan says it's safe, strengthen your buttock muscles and take your palms off of the floor. Actually, I'm actually pressing with the tops of my feet to hold me up. Yeah.
Yeah, you can also push the front of the hip.
Oh, okay.
So this part of the body at the front of the body here, the hip can push into the ground.
Okay.
And that helps you squeeze your buttocks more.
Ah,
and that'll give you a little bit more height.
Gives you more height, you're right.
Because if you don't squeeze your buttocks, then you'll use the back more.
Which is not good.
Well, it's good to a degree.
Safe. Right.
You know, so you're always going to be using your back, so you may as well try and use your buttocks and your back.
Right, okay, to stay safe.
Yeah.
Palms back on the floor, curl your toes in, forehead to the ground. Inhale, lift your buttocks all the way up. Exhale, dip your heels down. Head between the biceps. Inhale, bring the right foot and then the left between the hands. Place both your palms together. Inhale, come up with a straight back. Exhale and release. That is a full workout. Don't you feel good?
That's it, I'm done.
We're all fully charged. Very frankly, viewers out there, if you're stretching with us, just remember, all you really need is 5 minutes a day to start your day, energize yourself. But as Radan mentioned earlier, if you want to get a total workout, this is just a recharge, quick recharge. You want to get a total workout, what did you say, 20 minutes?
20 minutes. 3 times a week, 20 minutes.
3 times a week, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
There's no point doing 2 hours one day and nothing the rest of the week. So it's a good idea to just space ourselves out, right?
And if you have a healthy diet, that's all you need. The big mistake is people eat poor diets.
Right, and then
they try and compensate by doing lots of exercise. You know, so they're eating bad food, lots of calories, and then they need to do hours and hours of exercise to balance. Whereas if you have a healthy diet, you don't need to exercise as much.
Right, that's a good point. So you want low calories. So are there recommendations for folks that you'd say low calorie diets? You don't want to go into the diet just yet.
Probably not, but they say 2,000 calories for a male adult.
Right.
I think that's too much, but that's what they recommend. You know, if you eat a little bit less than that, you don't need to do as much. So it's always,
maybe at every meal we can cut down just a little bit.
Yeah, and rather than changing what you eat, just reduce the
quantity. I like that.
Yeah, eat a third less, but then eat whatever you want.
That's right. I'd hate to deprive myself because then suddenly I'm going to pig out one day. So now let's run down. This is what we had originally planned, and I got carried away, went into the sun salutation. So now what we're going to do is take our viewers through some standing postures, help us out by pointing out the muscle groups. After we get into the postures while I'm holding, feel free to just call out either simple names or you tell us what the benefits are physically. Yeah? Heels together, toes apart, and if I get lost and go back into sun salutation, kick me in the... Yeah, that's right. Inhale, take your arms up. Exhale, fold from the hip. Bring your heels out so the insides of your feet are parallel. And while we're holding, Radan, feel free. We've already gone through this posture, so in the next one. Inhale, bring your arms up to shoulder height. Exhale, bend at the knees.
Wow, yes. So this is a squat position. Very heavy on the thighs, these ones.
Wow.
Yeah, really so if you hold that for another couple of seconds, you'll start to feel that
working. I was hoping you would say half an hour. It's already starting to burn.
Oh, yeah. I think within 5-6 seconds, you start to feel that.
What about the back? I feel a little bit in my back. So is that because my
it's a test of your back flexibility.
Oh, okay.
So I'm leaning more forward because my back is tighter,
so
where you're more upright.
Okay.
So the objective is to sit nice and upright.
But be comfortable.
Be comfortable.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Inhale. Let's come up. Exhale and relax. We had a Kundalini teacher who was teaching us breathing techniques while we're in the squat position. I'm busy calling him names in my mind and I can't say it on air, but I understood when you're talking about the burn, he was talking about a burn and I didn't quite get it at the time, but now I get what you're saying. So when you hold it, you can feel the heat through the thighs.
Yeah.
Let's turn to face the front left of the mat. Bring your legs out about 3 feet apart. If you're tall like Radan, you may want to go a little further out. For me, 3 feet is good. First put your brakes on, make sure that your feet are nice and firm on the mat, and then turn your right foot out so that the heel of the right foot is at a T with the inside of your left sole. Upper body faces the side of the mat. Inhale your arms up to shoulder height, palms facing down. Turn to look at the tip of your fingers on the right hand. Lean a little to your right. Exhale. Oh, this is why, before we go down, Radan, we're leaning again is to gain that extra space in the spine.
And you should already feel a bit of a stretch on the inside of the thigh.
Right.
Just by leaning forward.
That's right. What is this? The adductors.
That's right.
Exhale, dip your right hand in front of the right ankle. Oh, I really feel the stretch now.
Wow.
Take your left arm all the way up. Turn to look at the left palm.
This is a great one because you're getting a bit of a twist.
Right.
And a rotation. So you're opening up the hip joint on the left leg, on the back leg.
I feel it right there.
Yeah. And then you're working rotation to the back as well as stretching the hamstring and the adductor on the front leg. So really you're stretching 3 things at once.
That's right. The adductors are the inside, the hamstrings are the back of the legs, right?
That's
and I also feel the calf a little bit, not so
Yeah.
much, but more the back.
Yeah.
Inhale, let's come up.
That's my favorite.
This triangle, right?
Oh, the triangle.
Turn your right foot in, turn the left foot out. Lean a little to your left. Exhale, dip your left hand in front of the left ankle. Take your right arm all the way up. Turn to look at the tip of your fingers on the right arm.
I feel it stretching down the back a little bit as well.
Right, you mean to talk about the low back?
Yeah,
And that's supposed to be good, right? Because we're doing a twist.
absolutely.
Right. And are we doing anything for our body physiologically when we look up at the tip of our fingers on the right arm, or is it a good idea to look down?
Well, I think looking up, for me personally, it's
Right.
much more difficult to balance.
Oh, I see.
So my hand is moving around and I'm looking at something that's not steady, whereas if I look onto the ground,
Right.
I can
You're
look at one
focused on
spot that's
I
not
see.
moving, so I'm probably
Right,
going to be
right.
more balanced. So
Got it. So we're challenging ourselves more. when we're looking
absolutely.
up. Inhale, let's come up. We have about 5 minutes, so I think we're doing pretty good. Turn the left foot in, turn the right foot out. We're going to combine 2 postures now into one. Lean a little to your right. Exhale, bend the right knee. Brave warrior. I think everyone in North America is familiar with this posture.
Yeah.
Keep exhaling. Dip your right hand in front of your right ankle. Take the left arm all the way up. Both palms face forward, and then take your left arm all the way overhead. Oh, Radan, this is your area. Tell me,
This is stretching right
why
down
does it
through
feel
your lats.
so good?
You should feel it right through here in your lats,
Right.
into the back. And because you bent the right leg this time,
Right, it's
you
taking-
shouldn't feel it in the hamstring
No.
or the adductor anymore.
Right.
But you should be able to get a bigger stretch into the back
And
the
the
side.
triceps too, right?
So that side,
I
which
feel
are called
so-
your lats,
Right.
latissimus, that run all the way down and connected to your lower back, should be stretching
So
out.
the lats are just below the shoulder blades, right?
Yeah, and they run all the way down into your lower back.
Ah, okay.
Well, they turn into connective tissue and then they insert into your lower
Right.
back.
So that's one of the larger muscles in the back.
Yeah, very strong. That's the one you need for chin-ups.
What's that? Oh, you
know what
gotta
a
tell me
chin-up
that. No. Inhale.
You don't know?
Come up. No.
You don't do that in yoga?
Straighten it, right? Well, maybe we call it something else.
When you pull your body up with the bar?
Oh yeah, I've seen that at the gym. But in
Yeah.
yoga we don't have that. No anti-gravity stuff.
Not yet.
Turn your right foot in.
That's
There is-
next episode.
There's something called rope yoga. Actually, no, I'd love to hear more about it.
about hanging yoga?
Foot in. Yeah.
Yeah.
The way they. And
In
I've
the
actually
bags.
seen there were yoga contests where this guy practices at home. All he has, not much furniture, all he has is a rope from the ceiling.
Wow.
And he's hanging upside down like a bat all day.
Amazing. You've got to be strong.
Well, I'm sure he is. Turn your right foot in, turn the left foot out. Lean a little to your left. Exhale, bend the left knee. Keep exhaling. Dip your left arm in front of the left ankle. Take your right arm all the way up. Turn to look at your raised arm, and then take your right arm all the way overhead. Palm faces down. Now, you're right, Radan. Now I really feel the
Feel
stretch
it.
all the way. And you're right about each side being different too.
Yeah.
I feel more on this side.
I feel less this time.
I think it's also because I'm more aware now that you mentioned it. I'm looking for that stretch.
Mm.
Inhale.
That's a very important point.
Right.
Yoga is really about going into the feeling of the stretch.
Straighten your left knee, turn your left foot in, exhale, bring your arms down, wiggle your feet a little closer. We were talking about awareness, and that's basically what yoga does. And I think that's one of the reasons why we keep breathing into the postures. So you exhale into a posture every time we fold over, we bend, we go closer to the earth, it's always exhale. Move away from the earth or back, it's inhale.
And you're actively thinking about it.
Actively thinking.
Whereas if you're doing cardio training on a treadmill, you're watching television and music and everything, so you don't think about exercise.
Right.
That's the power of yoga.
Sometimes it's, I think it's a good idea for me to just focus on what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I don't
with
want to
everything in
distract
life.
myself. No, but a lot of people find it very effective to go to the gym. Come on, you need bring more guys from your studio. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a little bit of an intense back bend and then close with a forward fold. We have about 2 to 3 minutes. So bring your feet out about 6 inches apart. The insides of your feet are parallel to each other. This one, this is the one, number 7. Radan, this one, you were talking about the intense back bend. We're not going to go very deep. Each one of us goes back as far as our body takes us. So be mindful of your body, be mindful of your abilities. Both palms on your buttocks and push your shoulders back. So you're trying to bring, some of you may be able to touch your elbows behind your back, which is great.
Yeah.
But right now, Radan, we're also getting good chest opener, right?
Chest open and shoulder flexibility.
Shoulder flexibility.
Yes, if the shoulders are tight, you won't be able to get those shoulders back there. I wouldn't actually recommend going back.
Going back if you cannot
So
get
if your
your
shoulders are still forward, you're going to be finding it very difficult to bend back.
That's a good point.
So first start with being able to get your shoulders back, open the chest, and then go to the back. Yeah.
Inhale, open up your chest, lift your chin up. Exhale, glide your palms down the back of your legs. Now, as Radan made a very good point, if your shoulders do not go back enough, do not lean back too much. Don't fold over backwards too much.
It's very difficult to speak.
That's right, it is. I'm hoping the boom mic will pick it up. Inhale, let's come up. And then we're going to do a little bit of a forward fold, just to balance it. Let's do a little bit of a side twist first to get any tension out of our spine. And then close today's episode with a bit of a deep, intense forward fold. Bring your legs out a little further apart than you normally would. While we're going to get into the stretch, I'd also like to thank our crew. Our facilitator for today is Richard Swanson, and our crew, Josie and Hurd, a one-person crew. Thank you so much for hanging in there and bearing with us. Now, what Radan and I have done is we're keeping a block next to us in case we find it's a bit too much to get off the top of our heads to the floor today. Inhale, put your brakes on. This is a posture you want to be extremely careful so that you don't slip because your feet are very wide apart. Put your brakes on, so bring your toes in. Inhale, bring your arms up to shoulder height, palms facing down. Keep inhaling, turn your palms in, take your arms all the way up. Clasp your palms together. Whatever is comfortable for you. You can have index fingers out, fold your fingers over, or you can keep your palms flat. I'm going to fold over so I don't come undone. Exhale, fold from the hip with a nice straight back. Now the aim is to touch the top of your head to the floor. If it doesn't happen today, first you always try to do that. And if it doesn't happen, use some help. Now, if you're a little tired today, you want to use a little bit of external help, use a foam block as we are doing right here.
Or 3.
Try. Or 3. But what you want to do is first use it at the lowest orientation. So keep it at the lowest point because that way you'll try to do work a little harder.
I find that with this stretch, it takes a while for the hamstring to let go.
Yeah.
So you feel it stretching in the back of the leg, and then as you hold a little bit longer, it starts to let go.
It stays. So you know what? Then we should do it at all 3 points. So at midpoint, and keep going so that we get more of a stretch. That's good observation. So it's all about retraining neglected muscles, right? We haven't been working certain muscles.
Yeah.
And then if you're really tired today, keep your block at its highest point. Now, I'm going to wiggle my feet a little closer, and folks at home do the same till it's safe to come out of this posture.